Welcome back to Nick's Mix and Flicks, the podcast where we talk music and movie reviews and other stuff too. Hey, I'm doing my little dance. Hey. Before we get into it, if you are on YouTube, if you could do me a huge favor, leave a like on the video, drop a comment, and hit that subscribe button. I'm currently trying to hit 100 subscribers on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, if you could rate and leave a review on the podcast, drop a comment, and hit that follow button. I'm also trying to reach 100 followers on Spotify. Today's episode is a fun one. Over this past weekend, my wife and I attended the Grand National Tour, which is the tour co-headlined by Kendrick Lamar and SZA. We're glad that we get to share our thoughts with everybody. If you like what you hear, again, be sure to subscribe, follow, like, rate, review, comment, all of the above. And without further ado, let's get into it. Yeah, when I hear music, got to talk about it. Got me a collection of movies that I can watch a lot of. If that's not your suit, at least try it on for a fit. You gotta tune into this Nick's Mix and Flicks. Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm joined by my lovely, beautiful wife, Sydney.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey.
We are back today to do one of our famous concert reviews.
Mm-hmm.
The most recent concert we attended last night, as of recording this, just this past weekend, probably when this is posted. Or what day was it? The
30th?
First?
Today's the 1st.
Today's
we
the
went
1st?
the May 31st.
May 31st.
Yes.
It was the Grand National Tour,
Mm-hmm.
co-headlined by Kendrick Lamar and
SZA.
Wow.
Woo!
They brought DJ Mustard to do like a little DJ set at the beginning.
Yeah.
We'll get into that more, but first off, we want to kind of just run through the night. First of all, we did unfortunately have to leave my cousin's wedding a little bit early.
Shout out Cut and Andrea.
Congratulations to Cutler and
Congrats to them.
I don't know if you guys are listening. If you are, congrats. If not, congrats, I guess.
When we bought these tickets, I was so like in a panic to get them that I didn't even like look at our calendar to see like if we had something. And so then like a month or two later we had a oh shoot kind of moment where we were like, oh my gosh, they're on the same day. But it worked out because we got to attend at least a good portion of the wedding.
Yeah.
But
and we bought these tickets like 6.5 months ago.
Yeah.
So we've had these for a while.
A long time.
I can't even remember if like their reception and like their wedding date was set in stone when we bought them.
Oh.
It may not have been.
I'm not sure.
Anyway.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
We're just happy. We're very happy that they got married. Yes. They are so cute. And cute. Yeah, it was unfortunate that we had to leave early, but yeah, we had to get to the show. So
yeah, congratulations, Cutler and Andrea. We love you guys. We're happy for you. So we left the wedding, came home, changed, and we hit the road.
Mm-hmm.
We drove to look, let me back up a little bit. So the concert was at Allegiant Stadium.
Yep.
Here in Las Vegas, which is the Raiders Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Ew. But so Sid has experience going to Allegiant Stadium for concerts.
I do.
So what did we do for parking?
So we parked across the street at the Luxor self-parking garage.
Yes.
Shout out to my friend Hannah. Her dad always gets us the hookup. We didn't have that this time, which is fine. But in previous experiences, we have parked at the Luxor and have had no issue getting in or out. It's been seamless. So I said to Nick, I was like, hey, let's park there. I think it'll be significantly cheaper than parking at Allegiant, as well as easier to get out of. So we headed towards the Luxor self-park, and then we were going to walk to the stadium.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is exactly what we did.
It was kind of a pain in the butt getting in.
It took
the parking.
It took maybe once we got on the street that the entrance to the parking garage was on.
Mm-hmm.
probably took 10 minutes to turn into the parking garage.
Yeah.
And then another 5 in line in the parking garage.
Yep.
And then honestly, it didn't take us long to find a spot. It was packed. The parking garage was full.
I was getting nervous there wasn't going to be a spot,
Yeah.
and we had already paid the $35 to park.
Yeah.
But then
We followed an old couple walking out
literally the man was like limping,
of the Lux.
and all we cared about was where did they park,
Yeah, we're like,
and
dude, take your time.
Yeah.
We're taking your parking
oh
spot.
yeah, we waited for them.
And-
I was like, I don't care.
I mean, it was a pretty good spot. It wasn't, it's a small garage, so it's not like you have to walk far wherever you park.
No, but it was a pretty central spot.
Yeah, so we parked, hopped out of the garage. We walked across, what was it, Hacienda Bridge? Is that what it
Oh, I
is?
didn't know that's what it was called.
Yeah, that's what we were saying on
I just
the
know
speaker after.
It's right by, he was listening. Oh, I know it's right in between like the Luxor and Mandalay Bay. They
Yes.
shut that road down.
Yeah, they shut it down completely.
And it's just like a crowd of people walking,
Yeah.
like a sea of people
It was
walking
crazy.
towards the stadium. It's a little bit of it's a walk.
It
I've
is.
never had to walk. I've always ridden on a golf cart because I'm spoiled. But because it was so hot, I think it was pretty miserable.
Yeah,
It was like 105.
it was very hot.
But it wasn't like the worst ever. And they had like free water stations, which shout out to Allegiant. I think that's really, really smart and good for everybody's well-being. So
Definitely. This was my first time going to Allegiant Stadium.
yes, very first.
It is a really cool. It's a really cool looking stadium.
It's beautiful.
It kind of reminds me of SoFi Stadium a little bit
Mhm.
in LA.
Yep.
Um,
Which we've been to together.
we have been to together.
We did go.
We went to an Eagles and Rams game where the Eagles swept.
Literally, yeah. Spanked.
Sorry,
Rams.
Dave, if you're listening.
Yeah, so sorry, Dave.
But anyway, so we get inside, we're walking around, and we're like, merch. We want to get merch. There were a few merch booths outside, but we were like, we're not waiting in freaking 100-degree heat.
If I'm gonna wait in line, at least let me wait in some air
Absolutely.
conditioned air.
So we find a merch stand up on our level. We were in the 300 section.
Yep.
And so, oh gosh, hold on. Sorry.
Not the yawn.
Oh boy. Okay. We find a merch stand on our level and we're walking. It felt like we walked for like 2 minutes and the line just kept going. And so we got in line. We got in line at like 6:20.
Yeah.
And we got to the front of the at the table buying merch at 7:30.
Yeah, it was like 7:30.
7:30. So
Yeah.
we were in line for over an hour. We did get some merch. We didn't get all the merch that we wanted to.
No.
Because it was on a higher level, they had a limited amount of merch there.
Options, yeah.
Options and sizes and stuff. And
Yep.
unfortunately, they didn't have the size that I wanted in the style that I wanted.
Yep.
So, I guess here's a little hack if you're looking to get merch. This probably won't be the case all the time, but we looked on the website as we were walking to our seats, and the shirt that I wanted was originally going to be what,
I
$55.
believe it was 55. Yeah.
It was on sale on the official merch website for $39.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, well, shoot, I can guarantee that I'll get the size and the style that I want.
Yep.
For $39.
Yep.
So if you can't find merch, it's not the end of the world. Obviously, yeah, you can, go back after the show and look then. You'll have some bootleggers outside of the stadium trying to sell
my
fake
gosh,
merch too.
$20 t-shirt.
We had a couple of those. But yeah, look online. Also, I guess kind of a myth about Allegiant Stadium. There are a lot of merch stands. I think we were kind of scared that there was only going to be like one main merch booth.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of them.
Well, and there was multiple on each floor.
Yeah.
So like the further we kept walking on our level, there were 2 more.
Yep.
And so we were like, oh.
Yeah.
And those lines were still very long.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah, they
not
were.
like, oh man, there's only
Ugh,
4 people in this
yeah.
line. It's like all lines looked fairly comparable.
Yeah.
So we would have had to wait regardless. But yeah, another hack is like if you get to your floor and that line is super long, maybe have someone hop in that line and someone else go check another line, you
Yep,
know?
yep.
There's always options.
Yeah.
So
Um,
that's always good to know.
definitely.
I got a shirt.
You did get a shirt.
I did. I got the Gloria shirt, which is super cute.
It
It
is
has
super
kind of
cute.
like a car, and it's just very
kinda
LA.
like graffiti-esque
Yes.
type art.
Yes.
It is very cool.
It's super cool.
I did end up ordering your shirt online. I'm
Mhm.
so excited to get it. They also had a really cool tote bag, but we were probably 10 minutes from the front, and I saw them take the tote bag off of the merch wall, and I was like,
Someone
"No."
bought the last one.
So I'll probably end up ordering the tote bag online because they're super cool. If I can find them online, hopefully.
One fun fact about everyone's favorite boy Nick is that he loves a tote bag.
I have a collection.
Yes.
And I like to get them from concerts. I think concert tote bags are cool.
Yes.
We have one. We went to a Into the Spider-Verse immersive orchestra concert at the Smith Center last year. They had tote bags there, so I have a Spider-Verse tote bag.
Mhm.
We went to Seattle for our honeymoon earlier this year.
Mm.
Got a tote bag in Pike Place.
Yep.
Years ago, I went to the Grand Canyon, got a tote bag there. I think we donated
You
that one.
donated that one.
Rip. But
Rip.
then we have a Lululemon tote bag, pretty heavy duty. But anyway, I love tote bags.
He does.
They're fun.
Oh, and we bought keychains.
Oh yeah, and keychains.
They have cute Gloria like little car keychains.
Yeah, so they come in a set of 2.
Mhm.
Yeah, little GNX cars. One, yeah, they both say Gloria on the outside. One is blue, one is pink. Super cute.
Yeah. It worked out
So-
that it was a 2-pack because we could both
did.
get. Were they $25? Yes, they were. But you know,
Listen.
it's
When you're going to see Kendrick Lamar and SZA, you just gotta
you gotta
just pretend that money doesn't exist for a little bit.
for sure.
That's it. That's a problem for future us.
For sure.
We'll figure it out.
We'll look at the credit card bill later. It's okay. We don't need to worry about that right now.
We can worry about that later.
Exactly.
Also, something I should have mentioned at the very beginning. I apologize for my voice. We woke up not that long ago, but we also went to a concert last night.
We didn't get home till close to midnight.
Yeah, so my voice is not amazing right now.
Well, and this man was screaming the whole night, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
But I've never
So-
seen that man yell so much in my life and hoot and holler. So his voice is very much. There's a reason
It's a
for
little
it.
rough.
So, but
Well, shall we get into the set list? Let's do it.
because we didn't catch Mustard's.
We did not catch we were in line for all of Mustard's set.
Yes.
We heard the music. It was fun. There were people in line kind of vibing next to us.
Yeah. We were singing along.
We were singing
but-
along and having a good old time.
Yeah, but we did
but
not get to actually see.
We didn't get to see
his
him.
set.
We
We got to our seats maybe 15, 20 minutes before they went on.
I think so. Yeah, it wasn't that long, which honestly was nice.
I kind of liked it.
Because in the past we've gone to concerts, we'll go, go for
And
the
just-
whole opener,
And just sit there.
sit there and wait a long time for the artist, like the main artist, to come out.
Mhm.
That sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, when is this gonna start?
Yeah.
But they did come out. They're pretty not on. I mean, they didn't have like a schedule posted anywhere, but they were pretty. Like once it started, it kept going.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have a break, which I liked.
Mm.
So
Let's
if you
get
don't-
into it.
yeah, so the tour was co-headlined by Kendrick Lamar and SZA, meaning that there were acts
Mhm.
to the show. So Kendrick would come out for 5 songs. They would do a song together, and SZA would come out for 5 songs. They would do a song together. Kendrick would come back out for 5 more, blah blah blah, until the set list ended.
Yeah.
But what do we have, like 50 something songs?
I think it was 50. 53 songs.
53 songs. We were at Allegiant for 5.5 hours, almost 6 hours.
Which is crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
Granted, that was included parking, merch, opener, sitting, but I think the main concert itself was
Just about 3
just
hours.
about 3 hours long, which thank you, Kendrick and SZA, because that is such a fun length. And what a crazy freaking set list for a
Mhm.
concert.
It was insane.
So he opened with, what did he open with?
Hang on. Oh.
Whacked Out Murals.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean was awesome. It was super fun.
I remember him like getting out of like the car.
Yeah.
And the crowd was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah,
Like, they were freaking out.
He got lifted into the stage or onto the stage, in a GNX.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, he was just kind of sitting in the car for the first song.
Yeah, I think he sang "Whacked Out Murals" in the
Yeah,
car, and
it
then
was-
got out for the next song.
It was super sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he came out. He did. I mean, we don't have to go like song for song
For sure, for
but,
sure.
Yeah, the first half was, or his first act was just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna bring the energy right off the bat.
Yep.
So he did like Squabble Up. He did the first half of TV Off.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite Kendrick songs, he did Element. There was a guy right next to us, right next to me in our section, and he looked like he was like 19.
Yeah, they
low-key.
they looked younger than us.
So younger couple next to us. But him and I think twice throughout the show, like he turned to me and to like dap me up because we were just vibing like so much. But Element, him and I, like bar for bar, word for word, like the first whole half of the song we were going, and so he just turned to me and dapped me up, and I was just like, yeah, let's go. But I freaking love Element. And yeah, if you are listening to this, Mom, and you are curious about any of the songs or watching concert footage, or even if you're not my mother, anybody, this is rap music. It was a rap concert.
Yeah.
So you kind of know what to expect.
For sure.
So if that's not your thing, don't search up the songs, don't go to the concert or whatever. Or like,
I mean, you can. We're just not
can,
gonna
or
promise that
just kind of giving you
you may not like it.
a little bit of a content warning, I guess.
Yeah.
Not even a warning, just kind of like a heads up, like, hey, it's exactly what you would expect from a Kendrick Lamar concert.
This isn't Taylor Swift, anybody.
No, this is not Taylor Swift. This is not Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, no.
This is not Garth Brooks. This is
Oh.
Kendrick Lamar.
All right.
Yeah. Their first song they did together was 30 for 30. 30 for 30 was really good.
It was super good.
Yeah.
And it was like that was the first time us seeing SZA, and then seeing them like perform together, and it was just like you're like soaking, and you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is like both of them, like are gonna be doing songs individually, but then together, and it was like the perfect way for them to come out together.
Definitely.
Was for 30 for 30.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So then SZA kind of had an act after that. Admittedly, I was there for Kendrick.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I wasn't there for SZA at all, but I was mostly there for Kendrick.
Yeah.
And I was really expecting there to be like an 80% everybody there for Kendrick and then 20% people there for SZA.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of like, this might be kind of like, I don't know, like awkward maybe a little bit, because I like, as a performer, you come out after Kendrick Lamar, if everyone's not like hyping you up, like you're not gonna feel great about yourself.
Right.
But it was a lot closer. I originally said 50-50, but I think last night we kind of agreed like 60% of people there were for Kendrick, but 40 were still there for SZA.
Right.
With, a combined maybe 30 to 40% in the middle of that there for both of them.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you included, I feel like you were there for both people.
For both. A little more Kendrick, but yeah, definitely also there for SZA too.
Yeah.
I was really excited to see her.
Yeah. She's a really good performer.
She really is.
They're both really good.
She sounds great live.
She does. She sounds really good live.
She does.
Did you have any thoughts on any of the SZA songs from that act?
I loved Love Galore.
Love Galore, yep.
And I loved The Weeknd. I think those were both super fun. And I like those
Weeknd
songs,
wasn't
so.
there.
Silly.
Silly.
Yeah,
The
she has a
Weeknd.
song called The Weeknd.
Oh.
Not like Abel.
Not like Abel from Canada, The Weeknd.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
This is just the song called The
The
Weeknd.
Weeknd.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was not a surprise guest.
He was not a surprise.
Someone
guest.
else was.
There was one.
But we'll get to that.
We'll get to that
at that part of the show. But yeah, I think she did like 5 or 6 songs in her act, and then Kendrick came back out.
Yeah. Kendrick came back out and performed, I think what we both agree was the best song of the entire night.
Yep.
All 6.5 minutes of his song titled Euphoria, which was dropped right in the middle of the back and forth beef diss track trading that went between Kendrick Lamar and Drake last year.
Yep.
Which is crazy to think that was already over a year ago.
Over a year ago, yeah.
Euphoria is pretty universally, I think, renowned for like being one of, if not the best song from the beef.
Yeah.
Which there's a reason. It's 6.5 minutes of Kendrick just laying into Drake. And hearing that live, oh my gosh. So on the stage they had a big screen. And they kind of split the screen slowly, and it was just Kendrick on a staircase, just like seeing their superpowers being neutralized, like the whole like first soft part of the song.
Yeah, it was slow.
And then when the beat kicked in, like the beat switch, he got up, and oh my goodness, it was insane. Easily like the most energy I've ever felt, I've ever had, I've ever like seen in one place at the same time. Was when Kendrick did the second part of Euphoria.
The shoo. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was easily the best. Not easily, but that was the best song of the entire night for sure.
Yeah, I told Nick this too earlier. I was like, I stood there and I was just like, holy crap. Like we are witnessing this song live with like what? Probably 60,000 people.
Yeah.
And he did, the entire song. I kind of figured, oh, maybe he would do like the second half or, like, but he went, the whole 6.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Never took a break.
Nope.
Just like freaking laid into Drake and live.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yep.
It was so good.
Yeah.
And watching you be like so excited was like the best. I feel like half of the videos I took are you just like singing the song and dancing, and you and the guy next to us carried our section.
We did.
The two of you knew like every song. It was so fun to watch. But yeah. Euphoria was the best.
It was the best.
It was.
Yeah.
It was the best.
He went into Hey Now from there. He did songs like, oh my gosh, like Backseat Freestyle was crazy.
That was crazy.
Like Mad City, All Right.
Oh, I liked All Right.
All Right was really
All Right
cool.
was good.
He has his songs everybody knows, like Humble, DNA, All Right, Mad City.
Yep.
But it was cool that he did a lot of his newer stuff the first half of the concert, and then the second half he kind of did a lot of his older stuff.
Yeah.
But I just was having a thought. I can't remember what it was. I will see if I can remember. But SZA came out for her next act.
Yes.
I think this was the most energy SZA had for an act.
Yes.
The songs like Scorsese, Baby Daddy,
Mhm.
crazy. What other songs are on there?
Ooh, I love the song Blind.
Yeah,
And then when Low came on, I was like freaking out because I love that song. It's so good.
yeah,
I was like rapping the words to you. You were just looking at
yeah.
me.
I think at that point I was. Please don't hate me. I was sitting down. My feet were hurting quite a bit,
Yeah.
and I don't know SZA songs like that, so I didn't have a reason to be up singing every single song.
You were obviously still
Yeah,
watching.
I was still watching. It was still super entertaining.
Yeah.
But I was sitting down. But yeah, I would just kind of like look up at you, and you would look at the stage and then look at me and be like pointing at me, like waving your finger at me while you're rapping.
I'm like,
and-
these lyrics, I'm not singing them to you. I'm just like, because that's not how I feel. But like,
yeah,
'cause a lot of her songs are like, oh, you did me dirty,
Yeah,
you know.
right.
But no, I loved Low. It was so fun.
it was fun.
I do think this was like her most energetic.
yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Ooh,
Over here, you
yeah,
get like
no.
Rich Baby
Yes.
Daddy,
Oh my gosh, Rich Baby Daddy was,
Kill Bill.
I think,
Okay,
the
we'll
most
get
insane
that.
concert song I've ever seen.
Rich Baby Daddy, yeah.
Um,
Definitely Crystal listens to that song for sure.
yeah. But after that, they actually did a few songs together, back to
Ooh,
back to back.
yes.
They did Doves in the Wind, probably one of my least favorite collabs between the two of them.
Me too.
But then they did All the Stars.
That was fun.
That was super fun. They did the song Love from Kendrick Lamar's album Damn. I think originally, I don't know who's on that song originally. It's not SZA,
Yeah, no.
but SZA sang the singing parts.
Which I love that they did that.
Yeah.
Because he easily could have just like put that in his own
Yep.
like part of the show.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, like this is such a like why not have SZA come and do it? And I think they sounded great together.
Yeah.
Love. I love love.
I love Love too.
I love love.
I remember what I was gonna say.
Oh. Yeah.
When buying the tickets, I remember we were looking at the prices and we were like, this is not gonna be a cheap concert.
No.
But I remember in my mind, I was just like, dude, this is like history. Like, Kendrick just came off of probably one of the most popular, famous, hip hop beefs, rap beefs of all time.
Yeah.
And now he's going on tour, performing all these songs that he made and put out during the beef.
Yep.
On tour across the nation, like shows in Canada where Drake is from. Yeah, I was just like, we'll figure it out. Get the tickets.
Yeah.
We're going.
And we did.
And
I won the war. I won the Ticketmaster war.
Ticketmaster war. She won. Guys, this girl fights so many wars on Ticketmaster, and she wins every single one of them.
I can't with you. I won the Ticketmaster war and secured the
Ticketmaster war.
Ticketmaster war.
Not the Ticketmaster war.
Stop.
Anyways. Let's see. Okay, so we're the second half of the concert.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick did like Dodger Blue.
Mm.
He did Peekaboo. Peekaboo was crazy.
Peekaboo went crazy. I love the visuals.
Yeah.
For Peekaboo.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then he went into Like That, his song the song that he's featured on by Metro Boomin and Future. The song that kind of kicked off the whole beef.
Yeah.
There's a line in the song okay, that's not true. There was a J. Cole and Drake song called First Person Shooter, and in it, J. Cole says in his verse, like, he's speaking as J. Cole, he says like, me, Drake, and Kendrick were the big three of hip hop. So then Kendrick responds in Like That, and he's like, F the big three, it's just big me. So then that kind of kicked off this whole thing. J. Cole tried to come in with the diss track. It was not good.
Booty.
And then he like apologized at one of his shows. Basically said like, guys, I was stupid for doing that. I don't know why I tried to come after Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah,
Probably
he's
because
Kendrick Lamar.
because he realized this guy's gonna mollywop me if I try to go after him.
He
Drake
should have learned.
Drake.
Drake should have
Drake
learned his lesson.
Aubrey Drake Graham should have learned his lesson, but he did not, and he had a fool made of himself.
Yep.
But anyway, from like that he went into like DNA. He did his verse from Good Credit, which is a song that he's featured on from Playboy Carti's newest album. It was really, really good energy. Felt like I'm sure it went crazy in like the pit.
Yeah.
But I'm not a Playboy Carti fan necessarily.
Yeah, neither am I.
And I initially, when that album came out, listened to those features. I haven't really listened to them again, but I wasn't huge on the features from Kendrick. Not that they were bad. I just was like, this isn't my favorite Kendrick Lamar stuff to listen to.
Yeah.
So I listened to it once, haven't listened to it since, but it was fun.
Yeah.
I feel like my head was gonna explode. There was so much bass in that song.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, literally, like you put your hand on your chest, your insides were shaking.
Yeah. I think it was during that song I looked at you and I was like, my chest is literally like, I can't, like, I feel almost like suffocating because it was so loud.
I remember having that experience at the Post Malone 12 Karat show in T-Mobile.
During Roddy?
During Roddy.
Oh my
during
God.
Roddy Ricch. Like Down Below, that song, I thought I was gonna blow up.
I almost had to like plug my ears during that set because it was so freaking loud. Like I know like the people who we were with could testify, it was so freaking loud. I've never been to a louder set than Roddy Ricch. Yeah. Shout out.
Yeah. But anyway. Then he like Count Me Out, Money Trees, and then he did the first half of Poetic Justice, which is a song that he has with Drake. Drake has a verse on it, but it's like old. I think it's
like what?
Is it Good Kid, Mad City?
Yeah, 3 or 4 albums old.
Yeah. So, yeah, and this is like
right before.
It was like early 2010s.
Yeah.
I think this album is from.
Yeah.
So it was a long time ago. I think it was kind of around the first time that like Drake and Kendrick met for the first time. But super old song. But yeah, cut right before Drake's verse, obviously.
Jeez.
And then we went into what is this? The last act from SZA. What is that? 9 songs. Wait.
Yeah,
9 songs.
She popped off in this
boom,
one.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, this was. This was probably the most energy filled.
Yeah, I love I Hate You, Shirt, Kill Bill, Snooze, Nobody Gets Me. That's the song about her ex-fiance and she's like flying in the air. That was cool. Good Days is so good. She went into Rich Baby Daddy, which is a Drake song, but she's featured on it. So she just basically does her verse. But it was crazy.
Yeah.
I had to shield Nick's eyes. There was lots going on.
Lots happening on that stage.
Yeah,
that I was like, what the freak?
Yeah, it was crazy. The grown man next to me was recording the whole thing, of course. I said, I thought it's been a while since you've recorded. And the minute Rich Baby Daddy comes on, he's like, oh, let me pull out my camera.
That is so funny.
Gross.
It was during this last act that SZA brought out a special guest performer. In shows prior, I think it was like a week ago, she brought out Justin Bieber.
Yes, for Snooze.
Because they have that song together.
Yes, or on the remix.
Remix.
On it.
What show is that?
LA Night 2.
LA Night 2.
Because Night 1 she brought out Lizzo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so LA Night 2 she brought out the Biebs. The Biebster.
The Biebster.
And so every concert that we've been to, we've always been like, oh my gosh, Posty's gonna bring out 21 Savage, or he's gonna bring out Ty Dolla $ign.
Yeah.
And then he never did.
Nope.
And we thought, like, oh my gosh, like Tyler the Creator, he's gonna bring out Doechii, or he's gonna bring out like Glorilla or something.
A$AP Rocky.
Lil Wayne,
or, yeah.
He didn't.
Nope.
So I think like we learned from that, to not expect guest stars from concerts. I think now, last night, my expectations now are skyrocketed for future concerts, because now I'm back to I'm gonna expect a guest performer for every show.
Yep.
Stop beating around the bush. SZA performed her song "Kiss Me More," which, if you don't know, is a track featuring Doja Cat.
Mm-hmm.
And who'd she bring out?
Doja Cat.
She brought out freaking Doja Cat. It was like, just like one of her other songs ended, and the song started, and I was like, oh cool, she's doing she'll just do Doja's verse.
And you know this song, right? Like,
I
you're
do know
familiar with this song?
Yeah. This is a super popular song.
Yeah. But we were sitting.
We were sitting.
Because I believe the song before that was like a little slower. And so we were like, oh, like we'll just sit. And then I didn't know Kiss Me More was coming up. And so it started, and I was like, oh, I should probably like stand up. Like, I like this song.
Yeah.
And literally, like, before I even stood up, I see like a blonde lady walk out, and I don't even like register. And then did you say?
Yeah, well, because everyone was going crazy. And I was like, oh my gosh, who is that? And I looked at you, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's freaking Doja Cat.
And I was like, what?
We were like, what? And so we both stood up, and everyone, it was so loud.
Yeah.
You could not hear it a freaking word.
No, I could barely hear them.
You couldn't even hear the song.
No.
For the first 20 seconds.
No, but
just...
after the kind of like, oh my gosh, like, they both sounded great.
They did, yeah.
I was kind of like, no hate to Doja, but I was like, I didn't know like how she'd sound live, but she sounded really good.
Oh yeah, same. I saw someone, she had this kind of like grass almost looking like dress on.
Yeah.
Someone said she was giving like Dubai chocolate.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Dubai chocolate. I don't know. She looked fairly normal.
Yeah.
She usually looks a little crazy.
I was like, oh, okay.
I think that's why I was like, wait, is that because like her hair looked like just
hair,
blonde hair, and she didn't look like overly crazy.
Yeah,
but it looked like they were having fun.
They did,
and it was cute. So,
and they ended the song. They, got lowered into the stage on the platform. And SZA was like, "Give it up for Doja Cat."
It was so crazy.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of Doja Cat, I have a friend. I guess we have a friend. Mm-hmm. His name is Jamari. Shout out to Jamari.
Jamari,
if you're listening, brother, know that you missed out on probably like one of the best guest performers you ever could have seen. Jamari,
I didn't even think about how much he would be like, oh, I missed that.
Jamari is the biggest Doja Cat fan I've ever met, probably that I'll ever meet. But Jamari's a big concert goer. He loves concerts. I feel like every time there's a concert in town, he's posting on a story. He's out there.
Yeah.
He's always like on the floor. He's always got great seats. And so we were like going into the concert last night. I was like, okay, if there's gonna be anybody that we're gonna run into, it's gonna be Jamari.
Yeah.
And then he posted on his story, like his Instagram story, like 20 minutes before we got to the arena or the stadium, that he was in Utah. And I was like, no, Jamari, what are you doing?
Doja Cat came out. And it's like, oh, Jamari, you've been there.
You missed out, man. I'm so sorry. Hopefully everything's good. Hopefully, there's no bad reason that you went to Utah.
I think he was at Lagoon.
Was he?
So that's fun.
He was at Lagoon.
Yeah, so at least he was like at an amusement park. I'm pretty sure, but he missed Doja Cat.
He missed out on a Kendrick and SZA concert, and SZA brought out Doja Cat. So.
And we texted our brother-in-law Tyler, and he was freaking out.
Oh yeah. So
he brought out
my sister and her husband Tyler. they were kind of, I think, like half contemplating going to the concert last night.
Taylor was heavily
Um,
considering it. I
Tickets
think.
were not cheap though,
No.
and so ultimately they decided they weren't gonna go.
Yeah.
But yeah, we texted Tyler as soon as Doja Cat came out.
I'm texting him like as she's on stage.
And he was like, "Oh no!"
He's like, "No."
So, but it was super fun.
Yeah.
Um,
A fun surprise.
It was a
like
super
you
fun
said,
surprise.
we've always been like, oh, like will so and so come out, and no one
Yeah.
ever has.
no one
so
ever has, so I always
we weren't expecting.
no.
I would have never even like
Well, because
been like, oh, maybe Doja Cat will come out.
in my mind, I'm like, we're already getting Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Yeah,
They don't even have to bring anybody out.
exactly. And I kind of figured, well, this isn't LA.
Yeah.
So no one's gonna come out.
Yeah.
But
So I guess Doja,
where were we wrong?
Doja did. You know, I was just like thinking of other artists that have like Vegas like residencies. Like if Kendrick and like Bruno Mars had a song together, imagine him bringing out Bruno Mars.
That would
That would
be
be wild.
I probably would have dropped to the ground.
Yeah,
That would
I
have been
think
so
that would have been when you
crazy.
fainted.
For sure.
If you were gonna faint at all last night, that would have been when it was gonna happen.
For sure.
Sid kind of has a track history of fainting at concerts.
I got a little dehydrated last night. It's okay. So that's also partially why I sat for portions of the show, was because I was feeling a little shaky.
A little shaky.
So drink water,
Drink
kids.
water. Concert pro tip: drink water.
Drink water. Even if the water costs $8, just buy it, because
you're gonna need it.
Yes. Especially with how hot it was.
Oh, it
yesterday.
It was hot outside, and it wasn't cold in the stadium.
I mean, it felt fine, but obviously once the show started and like we're jumping, they also had lots of flames.
They did have a lot of like
and fireworks, so like that probably didn't help.
And we were in the back of the stadium.
Yeah, so we're not getting the good air.
We felt the heat.
Yes.
From the pyrotechnics in the back of the stadium.
It was warm.
Opposite end of the stage. So just imagine the people like at the very front, or on the right next to the stage.
Yeah.
They probably got the heat a little bit more, but
for sure.
But yeah, then Kendrick obviously came out to perform one of his biggest songs of all time. But before I get to that, he did part 2. I forgot that he did part 2 of TV Off.
Yep.
The part where he yells Mustard's name.
And Mustard came out.
Very enthusiastically. Yeah, Mustard came out and danced, kind of walked around on the stage for like 2 minutes. I was like, listen, when you are DJ Mustard, you can do that.
Kind of do that, yeah.
Yeah, because everyone knows who you are.
Yeah, he just kind of like stood there and
kind of like walked around, and then the song ended, and he went back down under the stage.
Yep.
I was like, all right, cool to see him. But after that, the last Kendrick song that was performed solo, let's say it at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Not Like Us. Which, when buying the tickets, watching his halftime show performance, Not Like Us was always in the back of my mind. I was like, we're going to see the song live. Like, it's one thing to watch videos of him performing it. It's one thing to watch the Super Bowl halftime show live of him performing it in front of the whole country, mind you.
Oh no.
She yawned and it passed off to me.
I'm sorry.
It's one thing to watch it live on TV. It is insane to be in person singing that song word for word with what I assume is almost a sold out stadium.
Yeah.
Pretty close to it. There were not a lot of empty seats last night.
No.
Yeah, easily. That's like core memory, bucket list item. Seeing Not Like Us at a Kendrick Lamar concert.
It was crazy.
Yeah, with what? I mean, how many people do you think were there?
60,000?
60,000?
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
For 60,000 people to basically be calling Drake a pedophile.
Yeah.
For 3.5, 4 minutes.
It was awesome.
I loved every second of it. And then they closed. They did Luther. SZA came back out.
Yep.
and they did Luther together, and then they did Gloria for the last song. And it was amazing.
Awesome.
Concerts, I feel like, are always kind of like an out of body experience for me.
Yeah.
I don't really ever process the fact that the concert just happened or that I was at a concert until the drive home or the morning after.
Yeah.
So, AKA right now.
Yep.
So thinking about it all is just like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, that happened and we were there.
Yeah.
It always feels like I joined some kind of like online lobby in real life where it's like, oh yeah, like I'm going to, I don't know. I just had that thought last night where I was like concerts feel like an online like multiplayer experience where you just like you go and it's like, okay, cool, and then after that you just go back home. It's kind of crazy.
Kind of like what it.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But
Just we were actually there.
we were actually there
in real life.
in real life. Whoa,
Crazy.
crazy. No doubt in my mind, concert 10 out of 10, easy. At least a 10 out of 10.
It was amazing.
Not a second was I not bored. Or not a second
Was I bored?
was I bored.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Best concert I've ever been to, by far, no doubt. I think Disco's number 1. Number 2 is still going to be, prior to this concert, my number 1 concert was Post Malone in San Bernardino during his If Y'all Weren't Here I'd Be Crying tour.
Yep.
Which was primarily like his Austin album kind of tour. That was album number 1, or that was concert number 1 for me. Last night's concert clears that.
Yeah,
for
like
me.
blew it out.
Yeah.
Blew it out the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. I hope we get the chance to see them again.
For sure.
At least Kendrick or SZA or whoever.
Yeah.
But I
hope we see Kendrick again.
I hope we see Kendrick again.
Yeah.
I think we maybe.
And I wonder how many years he's got.
Yeah.
In him. I mean, he's not old.
I mean, he's not old.
No.
I just like wonder like
but his career
creatively.
Yeah.
I don't understand how he keeps coming up with stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Well, and he's got so much money. It's like he could easily retire and be
he'd be set for
the
rest
life.
of his life.
But I loved it too.
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing. I can't say it is my favorite concert of all time because that is obviously the Post Malone 12 Karat Toothache tour.
Okay.
Was the best concert of all time.
Okay.
But this concert was easily like top 5.
Yeah.
It was amazing. The whole set,
Yeah.
the set design, the energy, being there with you, it was awesome.
That is so sweet.
I've been like so excited just to like watch you at the show because you guys like Kendrick Lamar has like consumed Nick for like the majority of our like relationship, us being together.
Yeah.
And so it's just like so like cool to see him live with you, you know, because it's just like, oh my gosh, like we were together when like the beef, you know, we were in the car when he dropped like Meet the Grams, you know, and we were like, all like almost all the songs we got to like react to together.
Yeah.
So going to the show last night was just like, oh my gosh, like
it was like a full circle moment.
For sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. I loved it.
It was. I did too. I loved it so much. It was so much fun going with you.
Thank you.
I love that we get to go to concerts together. That was
our fave.
Yeah. And that was something that like right off the bat when we first met, we instantly knew that the other had intense love for music and you know, and so not that we ever, you know, imagined, oh yeah, we'll go to a lot of concerts together, but I always was just like, well, I like concerts, and I know you did too, or at least I knew that you do.
An unhealthy amount.
But yeah, my favorite concert I've been to thus far in my life. Only one concert would top that, and it is not possible for that concert to happen.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Mac Miller. It would be a Mac Miller concert, and he's no longer with us on the earth. But so for right now, best concert I've ever been to. Easy.
Kendrick.
SZA, DJ Mustard.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. Yeah. I don't know.
That was about it. And then we
That's
just left.
Pretty much it. We left, drove home. Yeah, got home.
Getting out was super easy.
Yes,
Of,
that was.
At least out of like the Luxor
Yeah.
self-parking. Like,
Yeah.
I can't even imagine the madness at Allegiant Stadium parking, but we got out seamlessly.
Yeah.
It could not have worked out better.
Amen.
So,
Hopefully, this is not the last time that we'll go to Allegiant.
no.
Like we said, this is the Raiders Stadium,
Hmm.
so we'll probably go to a football game in the future, and we're Eagles fans. So if the Eagles ever come here, we're going to that
You
game.
best believe we're going.
It's going to be another one of those future us can worry about the ticket prices.
Yep.
We're going to that game.
Absolutely.
But thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah.
We appreciate you listening to us yap and chat about our concert.
Yes.
If you are considering going to see Kendrick and SZA, I heavily recommend you just YOLO, buy the tickets, go see them. It's well worth it. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Nick's Mix and Flicks. I'm Nick.
I'm Sydney.
And we'll see you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, when I hear music, got to talk about it. Got me a collection of movies that I can watch a lot of. If that's not your suit, at least try it on for a fit. You gotta tune into this Nick's Mix and Flicks.